Hello, my name is Joshua Benjamin, and I am the head attorney and owner here at the law offices of Joshua A. Benjamin. We're a criminal defense and immigration firm in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and what we really like to work on is a process called the naturalization process. Now, we've done several different cases with naturalization, and the overall premise of it is it's someone going from a green card to a citizenship, right? Legal permanent residence to full-blown American citizen. It's a fairly simple process, but it can definitely get a little bit complicated, which is why we always suggest contacting an attorney. But if your heart is set on doing it on your own, all I ask is you listen to these 9 steps, where I'm going to try and give you a little bit of advice so that if you are doing it on your own, you're at least getting the base information from it, right? So we're going to jump right into it, okay? The first step is to figure out whether or not you're eligible for citizenship, for naturalization, right? Eligibility can definitely be complicated. There are several different ways to become ineligible, and there are several different ways to become eligible quicker, right? The best way to figure out whether or not you're eligible is to look at the link below. We're going to attach a link that will describe, or that will have a checklist of eligibility, an eligibility checklist for you to be able to tell whether or not you're eligible. Now, basic eligibility requirements include you have to be 18 years old, you have to be a legal permanent resident for 5 years, so you have to have your green card for 5 years, but there's just so much more. So just check out the link below to help you decide whether or not you're eligible for naturalization. And if you still don't know after using the link, please feel free to give us a call here at the office or call any immigration attorney. Now, the second step, once you decide you are eligible, the base form, the most important form that you're going to file is called the N-400. Now, some attorneys have access to the N-400 and they can do it online. Here at the office, we do the N-400 completely online. We use a client portal that allows the client to actually see where we are in the process, see what we've done, as well as communicate with us, message us, and get notifications for their interviews. When you file the N-400, there's a lot of things you have to be careful of, okay? First and foremost, you have to be careful of how you answer each question, because when you do get interviewed later down the line, they will review every question, and anytime there's a discrepancy between what you put on the N-400 and what you're saying, it's going to cause a problem. So again, I always suggest this, but if you know an attorney, or if you don't know an attorney, getting in contact with an attorney is definitely something that will help you, specifically doing the N-400 process. To complete the N-400, you're going to need step 3. Go get your passport photos. The photos, you're going to have to get them, from any Walmart, CVS, any one of those. Get those photos. You're going to need them for the application. Step 4 is to actually mail out the application. Now, if you're doing it online through an attorney, or if you're doing it online by yourself, it's going to be much easier because all the other forms that you will need to complete will be available online. For example, if you hire an attorney, you have to fill out a G28. That G28 is going to be filled out online. It just saves a lot more time. But if you are filing it online, you're not going to have to mail it. If you are going to have to mail it, definitely, here's my one suggestion. Go on uscis.gov, figure out the naturalization mailbox that you are sending it to. Not every application goes to the same spot, so you need to make sure you understand where it's going to, or it's just going to get lost in the mail and you won't hear from them and you'll have checks lost in the mail. So you don't want that. Definitely look it up, USCIS, or again, ask an attorney. Step 5, after you mail it out, you are going to get a confirmation. That confirmation is going to say, we received your application, here is your receipt number, here's what you need to do. The next step is going to be fingerprinting. So you're going to go and you're going to have an appointment and you're going to get yourself fingerprinted, and that's just to check security, databases, CIA, DEA, Homeland Security, stuff like that. Step 6 is you're going to have to attend the interview. Now, the interview is something that you need to prepare for, right? Because step 7 is you're going to have to take a civics and English history test, right? Reading, writing, all that kind of stuff. So you need to prepare for it. Here at the office, we do 3 mock interviews before any interview. You come in, I act like I am the DHS officer or the USCIS officer. You sit down in front of me, we go over it, we do a lot of practice tests, and by the end of those 3 sessions, you are 100% prepared for the naturalization interview. So if you don't have an attorney, I ensure that you get yourself prepared, and there's a ton of material online on preparing for your naturalization interview. So look at all of it, get prepared, and get ready for your interview. Because the second part is your civics test. The civics test is going to ask you 10 out of 100 questions. Now, if you need to answer 60% of those 10, so 6 right. The second you get 6 right, they won't ask any more questions. But if you get more than 5 wrong, 5 or more wrong, then you're in trouble. So you don't want that. Step 8. After you do the interview and you do the civics test, right, what's going to wind up happening is you will actually get the decision from the officer. Now, the officer can give you one of 3 decisions on the spot, either approved, or he could give you the decision of pending, right? And that's not too scary. Don't get scared yet. That just means they want to do a second look over everything and make sure everything's okay. Or third, they're going to deny the application. Now, if they do deny an application, definitely get in touch with an attorney, because at this point you're dealing with appeals and appellate level cases, and you're going to need representation for those cases. The last step, right, is the best step of all. It's the ceremony. Step 9. The ceremony is a ceremony where you go and take the oath to America, the oath of allegiance. You're going to have a judge there who's going to give you a little guest speech. There's also guest speakers there who usually give a speech. I've been a guest speaker at a couple of them. I absolutely love going to naturalization interviews. That's when you'll get your actual naturalization certificate. That is the day you become a citizen. So it's very exciting stuff. But all in all, the process, is even boiling down to 9 steps. Even after that, it's still extremely complicated and extremely difficult, especially if you have things that, that are at the beginning. I don't know if I'm eligible or not. I always suggest contacting an attorney. I always suggest making sure an attorney looks over your application before you send it. There's just so much that can go wrong, especially in today's day and age when it comes to immigration. It's hard for attorneys sometimes to keep up with all the changes in immigration, so to expect regular civilians who are living their lives, who don't study the law every day of their life, it's very complicated for us to, it's not practical for us to say that they'll be able to handle it just the same. So always contact an attorney. If you don't want to contact an attorney, at least follow these 9 steps. We'll be making more videos on, tips on the process and things like that. So make sure you like and subscribe. If you know a friend who's dealing with this process, please send them this video. Make sure you can get them at least the basic surface level information of the N-400 naturalization process. If you have questions for me or you want to reach out to me, feel free to DM us. Feel free to reach out via email. Our email is jbenjamin@thejablaw.com. Or you can just call the firm directly, 856-477-3261. Again, that's 856-477-3261. Reach out to us in any way you need, and it'll be our absolute pleasure to help you in any way we can.